So if y'all want to sit for and take a deep breath and maybe stretch a bit here, okay, and roll your necks if you want, shake your feet out. We want to open as many of the spaces in our physical bodies as we can, because we're really being asked now to become spirit and matter, to become the vessel of source consciousness, and be a conduit for the all that is. So we want to open the deepest spaces of your being. And this energy that will connect the mental mind with the emotional body, it also goes through the heart to bring alignment to ourselves. And if you feel inspired to do so, and to repeat these words to yourself as well. In the name of the I Am, I call forth every macrocosmic and microcosmic spaces and in-between spaces of my soul beingness. May I align to the fullest expression of my soul being that I have available to me in this moment to hear the information that is about to be transmitted to us. Okay. Using the crystal heart from the diamond sun. The diamond sun is that place, let's say, I mean, for lack of a better word, is that place where the original human soul and physical being matrix was created. We lost that connection at some point. Too long to go into details here. I don't know that I have all the details. But that is the diamond sun that is now open to us and now streaming forth the codes of the original divine human to us. So I'm going to take a moment, and if you'll allow me, I'm going to breathe through your pranic tube, which goes right down the center of your being, and clear that central line. May you hear this information with your soul beingness. Take only that is in alignment for you in this moment today. And this energy process is going to be kind of informational as well as energetic, because I'm going to kind of take you through a process that I've learned to do with Sammy, to open all channels of my beingness to receive the energy that she is bringing forth. This energy process, like I said, information is been inspired particularly by Daniel, Connie's son, and he has some very specific information that he wants to be imparted, and an energy process to facilitate as well. So one of the pieces of information that our kids want us to know is about the soul. So we've been operating on this belief that, you know, it's my soul and their soul, and that we have all separate souls, and we've been reincarnating to rectify or do again previous, maybe perhaps mistakes from previous lifetimes as soul beings, as if we're separate. But what they're showing is that the soul, there is one human soul that was created with the original divine blueprint of the human. And out of that one soul then is has been individual, let's say, matrices, a soul matrix, that then creates the human incarnation that has, and this soul matrix contains the light code information about how your DNA is going to be assembled for a human expression in this lifetime. The colors that you see there in that star tetrahedron pattern, they're all different because it represents the fact that everyone is unique. There is not one that has the exact same soul matrix. And so that's why we think that we're all different, but it comes in from that one great soul. So now our kids operate from that. When we say that the collective consciousness of the children, they operate as one soul, and each of them are also expressing something different. So like today's energy works with Daniel. He's a master of the interdimensional space of the tri-wave. Sammy has a different mission. I can't even go into all specifically what you know. She's a resistor in this realm. Her physical body and her muscular system is designed to bring in very high frequencies right through her muscles. Lucy this weekend, I think, was showing us that she is working with the biochemistry of her body to, and so from Lucy's physical beingness being here, she's going to be radiating information as energy of how to rework our biochemistry, our biochemical process to continue to align with the soul matrix that is continuing to expand, let's say, right? So other kids that I've come across, there's one young teen adult, she is bringing in the codes of the mitochondrial DNA, you know? So they all know that they're each uniquely doing, playing a part in this process. And when you know that you're part of that great soul, then that is unity consciousness, knowing that you are part of something bigger and that we are each here to serve one another. That will change the planet when we can all come into alignment with that. Sorry, that's a very deep, profound knowing. So that's what these kids are bringing to us. And because of our, let's say, misbeliefs, they have not, let's say, wanted to embody the same way that we have, so that they don't take on the same beliefs that we've had. And that's the only way to show us that there's a lot of the stuff that foundationally is just wrong, what you've been operating on. So that's why they're here. The other thing that Daniel wants us to know is that, okay, so your child has a soul matrix. You as an adult, as the parent, has a soul matrix. They're not the same. They're different, but the starseed parent and your child, so like, so at least one parent, they said, is a starseed. In some cases, both are starseeds. In some cases, just one parent is the starseed. It seems like a lot of times here, it's the mom. And so you don't have the same soul matrix, but you are vibrationally matched so that you can, let's say, energetically help them hold the information that they're here to bring in. So that's the first piece here, okay? The second piece that is I'm going to show you a video. It's about a 2-minute video about possibility of what expanding consciousness looks like. So I'm going to use this video from Cymatics that, I have to get out of this page, that I think it's not exactly the way it is, but I think it's a good illustration of what happens to the soul matrix when we are increasing the vibration. So when we talk about ascension, we usually think of that as being able to hold higher and higher vibrations. So see what happens when sound, we'll just like this. Uh, so I think you get the idea of what happens there. So like this is illustrating, this experiment is demonstrating the visualization of what cymatics can be done by sprinkling sand on metal plate. So it says the higher the frequency, the more complex the shapes produced, with certain shapes having similarities to traditional mandala designs. So one of the first encounters that I had with Sammy was that she showed me that your soul is like like a kaleidoscope. And so when we're shifting in consciousness, it's like that kaleidoscope turning, and it becomes more intricate as we're able to hold higher and higher frequencies. Then that soul matrix is actually becoming more refined. And so when we think of our kids, they're more sensitive because they came in with a more refined soul matrix that makes them sensitive to the higher frequencies to be able to bring it in. But it makes it also makes them more vulnerable to all the other stuff that's in just in our world, emotions, mental thoughts. I mean, it's all energy, toxins in the water, maybe vaccines. I mean, all of it, they're more sensitive because they have a more refined soul matrix. And so as we shift in consciousness and as our soul matrix becomes more refined, then we are more able to meet them where they are. We're able to hear more of their messages. We're able to experience. Now, the other part that Daniel is bugging me, I can feel it in the back of my head. He's like, make sure you say that not all the information is going to be verbal. Light language, words as we know it is limiting. They know light language better, the language of God, and where there is no words, it's more of omniscience, knowing, and that's our intuition, right? It's like a knowing inside of where to go, what to do. The knowing comes first, and as we tune in to our own inner guidance system, our own soul, we are becoming more intuitive as well. So is that it, Daniel? So he's saying, yeah, make sure you also pay attention to, sights and sounds, colors, shapes. The language also comes in, geometries and symbols. So all of that is the language of light, not just our words that we know. Okay, and I can repeat some of this, like I said, the next session. People have more questions about it. Happy to repeat it next month. The other piece that he wants me to talk about is this bi-wave and tri-wave. Now, this is familiar, the tri-wave. We've all seen this. We've all seen this, right? The two circles. I studied some sacred geometry during my awakening process. I read the books too. This is the Vesica Pisces, right, where the light comes through. This is how matrices are formed. Well, the bi-wave is where polarity is actually the foundation that we've been living on. The bi-wave is extreme polarity. It's really not the true matrix that we were supposed to be created on. So that flower of life that we've been operating on is really an incomplete flower of life. And so when we have bi-wave architecture, we're continuously struggling with the polarities, even especially in our thoughts and our belief system, and we're always trying to gain balance. So it's belief systems of being inferior, superior, where you feel inferior, so you try and get yourself out of that, and so you start telling yourself positive things, but then something else happens and then you're knocked back into feeling inferior. You're continuously bouncing back and forth. Another one is something like entitlement and hoarding. We talk about people and their entitlement attitudes, blah, 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 blah. But if we look at it on a global scale, there is a portion of the population that is holding most of the wealth. So to balance that, we have this entitlement attitude on the other end, because we see that there's this other group of people that's taken all the resources, and so we need to try and make sure we get ours as well. So that's where the bi-wave architecture has come in, and another reason why our kids are not willing to fully embody, because it's an inorganic matrix. So we've seen this. We see the Trinity, we see the three, and we're continuously striving for that that balance. But when that foundation is built on a bi-wave architecture, then we've been struggling with attaining and maintaining that balance. And so even male and female, right, masculine, feminine, there's so many examples in our belief systems that's been operating on this bi-wave. The tri-wave is coming into neutrality, balancing the two. And so when we balance the two, then we can be the witness to that extreme polarity. So if you are experiencing yourself feeling inferior, superior, what I'm noticing that really works better for me is not to get into that dialogue of, no, I'm not inferior, no, I'm not superior, is I see myself, I'm witnessing myself running a program that's been running on this bi-wave architecture. So you just neutrally witness it. You know, you see fighting going on in the outside world, you see, let's say, racism and hatred, you know, going on. You know, you be the witness. I am witnessing the extreme polarity that is playing out here, you know, and then you feel compassion for both sides. So that's what coming to neutrality means. And we also can then come into neutrality within our own bodies as masculine and feminine. I'm asking Daniel if he's okay. He's good. All right, Daniel's good with it. All right. So what I'm going to talk about here is this is an energy symbol. This part up here, this is a symbol that we're working on a 15 chakra system. Our universe has 15 dimensions, and so we actually have had 15 chakras all along. We've only known about the 7 that has been operating in our body. Each dimension corresponds to a chakra. And so the dimensions are a field of, let's say, light codes, for lack of a better word. So each dimension, the first dimension would like correspond to the root chakra, the second, the sacral, etc. Each dimension has certain codes, light language within it. It's a certain field and has certain parameters. And so if we look at our bodies from that perspective of the chakras, then in its wisdom from that soul matrix connecting, and with spirit moving through that soul matrix, giving the instruction set of how to manifest this body, we have been multidimensional all along, because it's pulling all that codes from different dimensions, creating interdimensional spaces where interdimensional spaces are where the dimensions overlap. And so we have been multidimensional all along from that perspective, because it takes all of that to weave together this expression, the world that we live in, right? The material world, it's all a play of these multidimensional frequencies coming together in certain patterns. So this entire field from here down contains the 15 chakras and all the other meridian lines and meridian system. And this energy symbol up above here is a symbol that connects us to beyond this physical universe, to approximately what we might consider the 19th dimension. Beyond that, it's really not a dimension. But so in order to now begin playing in the new harmonic universe that we've entered. So this field of liquid light encased in this, held together by this Dyna shield, which the kids had shown me a couple of years ago. I think it was a couple of years ago. Accesses to beyond this universe where they're from. And 19 is not the highest. Zami's actually taking me up to the 25th point, let's say. So there's more, but we're gradually getting used to the new harmonics. So this liquid light is encased. We're encased in it, or I'm encasing us in it if you want to use this. It's a field to bring balance and coherence to our physical beingness, as every aspect of our being, the mental, emotional, spiritual, astral, and physical, the soul selves are converging into a oneness in this body. It's to kind of hold all of that together. It also offers protection from outside forces and beings who are not operating with the highest intentions still at this time. So I'll post this on the page as well. If you want to use it as a field, you can just look at the image and just imagine yourself in it, to be in this field. And it, like I said, it encompasses total beingness, because it's from that total beingness that we can open all channels and connect to our children. So we're going to open some of the other energy lines. We also have these vertical channels called axitonial lines. And I'm going to run through it quickly here. And if you've watched some of our other videos, we've done it in other places as well. But just, if you haven't seen it before. So I'm going to start with your right hand. And what you do is you squeeze from the pinky. So the numeric code for this one is 3. And you have your corresponding pinky toe. There's an axitonial line. It's like a vertical channel of energy that connects actually to your meridian lines, so that your primary chakra system, it really does not have to be the primary system, and actually it's not going to be someday for all of humanity. So this is 3, and you'll feel your pinky toe, and it connects into the earth. 6, find the corresponding toe on your right foot. 9, 2, and 8. So that opens the vertical channels, that side. We're going to do the same thing with our left hand, starting with the pinky finger. This is 4, 7, 10, 1, 5. And I learned this on energetic synthesis, just to give them credit. And there's actually more to it than this. If you're interested in going in and doing a deeper process, there's a whole lot more there. And then these axitonial lines, these numbers, they also correspond to chakra and certain meridians that also run through us. So like this 3 would correspond to your solar plexus. This 4 would correspond to like your heart chakra. Now, in your palms of your hand, on your right hand, see the number code 1212. This is the masculine side. And on the left side, in the palm of your hand, see 1313. This is the feminine side. It's the code of the feminine. And if we bring the two together, it brings us into neutrality. We create a neutral field from the heart space. So opened all channels of light, connected to the soul matrix, right? And also open horizontal exotonial lines, and there aren't number codes for that, there's colors. So horizontal channels, and also open the diagonal channels. So if you saw our post about the rainbow meridian system where Sammy has different fields of light, that's encompassing all the channels. But practice using this and this and this first, until you get comfortable. Like I can just close my eyes now and I just say unify, and that means unify both halves. Open all channels, and it opens all channels. I surround myself in the field of liquid light, and you can just use yourself, and ground my space. You ground to the 12th chakra, the Earth Star, which is about 6 inches below your feet. So instead of connecting physically to the direct Earth, we connect to the Earth Star, and that's the 12th chakra. It's also, to me, the multidimensional Earth. So we open all channels of light, okay? And Daniel has the next process that he wants us to run through. So the interdimensional space of the tri-wave, this is Daniel, this is what he moves through, is that in-between space of the tri-wave. And the tri-wave doesn't have to be 3 dimensions coming together. There can be interdimensional spaces created from many, many dimensions coming together. So Daniel is a master at that. But we're going to just stick with this tri-wave for this energy process. He's saying, imagine that, this tri-wave now. I'm going to start in the heart chakra. So I'm going to spin that in the heart chakra. And I'm going to drop an anchor, energetic cord to the Earth Star. And that stabilizes us. So now Daniel is taking this, and you might feel it. He's spinning it counterclockwise, and then kind of laying it on its side, spinning it kind of horizontally. I'm going to stop that in case you're dizzy. He's moving that to the high heart, which is around the thymic area. Opening up the thymic chakra to deeper awareness. This is also considered the universal heart. Move that to the throat chakra. Clearing the throat chakra. Clearing the 9th chakra, which is the medulla oblongata in the back of the head. He's clearing that with the tri-wave. Like I said, because we've been operating on a bi-wave architecture, he's clearing as much of that as possible in this moment. And again, a lot of this process we have to do several times over and over and over again, because there's layers and layers and layers. And that's why it's not all clearing in like one swoop. So now bringing that up to about the 3rd eye, also the crown, spinning that. He's saying, pull out spiritual, it's like negative spiritual weeds that goes through the crown chakra that actually has been embedded into the root chakra. So as best you can now, clear, just with intention, clear that out. And I'm going to activate the cube octahedron with a vector equilibrium, which is the 0-point field. And just imagine that you're just dropping that into the 0 point field, just being neutralized, no judgment about where it came from, how it came. Any spiritual cords that don't belong there, just pull it out. A lot of fears, yes, a lot of fear matrix codes are embedded in the root chakra. So we're pulling out those fear-based weeds. Okay. Take a deep breath. I'll give people a couple more minutes. Or another minute. All right, so now we're going to take this tri-wave. So like the two spheres around our eyes. The third sphere is like encompasses the crown chakra and also the third eye, or the pineal in there. And that interdimensional space there is actually accessing the, is centering itself in the pituitary, in the center of our heads. And he's saying it also connects to the amygdala in there, and the hypothalamus is also all in there somehow. So don't worry about making it exact. Your consciousness knows what to do with it. So he's saying we're going to blow into that to clear that interdimensional space opening. So now he's saying, now go back to that visual of being encased in that liquid light with this new opening there, and the liquid plasma light that you're engulfed in is doing the work of dissolving just what you need today in this moment. And it's opening up a deeper space for energetic or telepathic communication with your child, okay? He says to also listen to your heart in this interdimensional space, balance that. He's also placing this now in that root chakra area as well. We also want that root chakra now to be also operating from the tri-wave, beginning engaging that consciousness of the tri-wave in physical matter. So just a quick step of what I do to support Sammy if she's having a hard time is, and sometimes it's not always the most optimal time. You could be in the middle of cooking dinner or something, or you could be out shopping, next thing you know. So it's, the best you can do in the moment that you have. I've sat in a park once and, there I was, like, bringing in this information from the Pleiades, So, and it took an hour, so we just had to stand there, but I had the time, so we did that. But, so opening all channels, like I said, the vertical, the horizontal, the diagonal channels, centering this in your head, the heart, and the root chakra. Okay, so imagine yourself. There's your child. Say, I'm going to be a receiver. I'm going to help you receive whatever it is that you're bringing in right now that's making you uncomfortable or whatever. And just be open to whatever that information is. Like I said, it could come in sounds, it could come in geometries, it could come in colors, it could come in waves. Just that you're there to support them, to be the conduit, because they're a conduit for the higher consciousness that's coming in. And we don't have to understand with our minds what that information is. You don't have to try and translate it unless you feel called to translate it, to write about it. Even if you start writing about what you saw or the colors that you saw, there could be a message, and then he's saying, and then ask yourself, was this energy process for me, or is it something that I need to send out to my community, or is it something that I'm going to emanate when I'm out shopping, or just doing anything that's around? So just be open to whatever that may be. And he's saying, give yourself 2 to 3 days of what that inspiration might be. If you feel called to anchor it to the earth, then then again, drop that anchor down into your earth star. Visualize just say, I'm going to send this out to the earth grid, or the acupuncture points of the earth, all the energy lines of the earth. Whatever may come up, whatever you feel inspired to do, just do that and see what happens. So I encourage you to to try that. Well, we're going to put this video up in a couple of days. It'll probably take us a couple of days. Watch it and try the process, and we can get back together in April and get feedback, questions. Like I said, I'm open to doing some of those slides again, or whatever it might take. So I invite you to do that. So to close out, in the name of the I Am, and in alignment with Unity Consciousness, we offer our deepest gratitude to Milena, Lucy, Daniel, and all our kids of the collective consciousness. We acknowledge you for the challenging incarnation that you have taken and bringing forth this new information about the bi-wave architecture and why you did not want to fully be embodied at this time. We offer our deepest gratitude to all, and thank you for all who joined us tonight. Thank you for all who will be watching the replays. We, in the name of the I Am, we close and seal this session with divine light and love. And so it is. So thank you, everyone.